good afternoon or evening. Today we are going to be working on the distributive property again, but tonight we are going to be focusing on using the area model or array picture models to help us figure out distributive property. So again, our central question is, how do I apply or use properties of operations as strategies to multiply and divide? And again, we're focusing just on multiplying today. And we're going to be using those area models or picture arrays to help us form the distributive formula. So here is our explanation. If you read at the top, it says sometimes we will be given a picture array that is partitioned or decomposed, and we must use our knowledge of distributive property to find the two multiplication sentences that represent each part of the array. So first we're going to be looking at the green section. Okay, so only the part that is shaded green. In this entire picture of leaves, okay, we're only looking at the array portion that's shaded green at first. Okay, as you can see, there's a green section and a blue section, and each of those represent the two distributed parts, multiplication equations that make up the whole distributive property. So first we're going to figure out what multiplication equation goes with the green portion of the array. So as you can see on the green portion, there are 4 rows of leaves, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves in each row. So we know from our strategy of making an array to form multiplication problems, we know that you take the total number of rows and the total number of columns to create your multiplication fact. So this green portion of the array shows me 4 times 4. So now we're going to go over to the blue part of the array. Okay, notice how the whole picture is divided by this red line. So really this is one big array that we've split up or decomposed. So again, the first part, the green portion, was 4 times 4, that multiplication fact. And now we're going to look at the blue portion. We can see that we have 2 columns of leaves, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of leaves. So if we take the total number of columns and the total number of rows, that gives us 2 times 4. So we have the first part of our array, which is 4 times 4. If you follow that arrow, we need to put it right down here. Okay? So that's going to be 4 times 4. And we're going to add that to our other multiplication equation that we found, which is 2 times 4. Why do we add them together, you say? That is because, as I told you, this is actually one big picture array. We have just simply cut it, kind of not in half, but we have cut it up or partitioned it to show 2 separate arrays that we could add together to find the total area of this shape. So we're going to do exactly what we learned the night before. We're going to multiply both sides of the distributive equation. 4 times 4 we know is 16, and we're going to bring down our addition sign. 2 times 4 we know is 8. So now we have 16 plus 8. So what you could do is decompose this into 10 plus 16, and then bring down your plus 8. So 6 plus 8 is 14. So 10 plus 14 equals 24. So we know that this array equals 24 units. So now you are going to try
please call Ms. Maynard
this
at 011
on your own. Okay, if you need to go back and rewind and watch, I know I went through that one quickly. Please stop and rewind and watch the first example as many times as you need to. Okay? Go ahead and pause the video if you feel ready, and I want you to try and come up with the 2 multiplication equations that go with this array. Okay, that's all I want you to do. Come up with the 2 multiplication equations that come up with this array, and if you would like, you can fill it in just like this. Go ahead and write this on your paper. Oops. and then you can find your product, okay? So you're going to look for the two multiplication equations that make up both of these arrays, and then you're going to bring them down here, okay? And you're going to solve to find the answer, okay? Go ahead and pause. Okay, you should have paused. So now we're going to show you how to solve this problem. So the first thing I would do is put a box around this first part of the array, okay? We'll call these flower petals. So first I'm going to count the number of rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 rows of flower petals. And now I'm going to count how many columns there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So we know that there's 5 rows and 5 columns. That gives us 5 times 5. Okay? Now I'm going to look at the rest of the array, which is this little column right here. I'm going to see that I have 1 column, only 1, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, again, 5 rows. So that gives me 1 times 5. So now I'm going to bring my 5 times 5 down here, and my 1 times 5 down here, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply and add together. So 5 times 5 is 25. Bring down my addition sign. 1 times 5 is 5. So now we have 25 plus 5 equals 30. So this array has a total area of 30 units. When you're ready, you try the next problem. These are pictures of marbles. So if you didn't get the last practice problem with the flower petals correct, then please rewind and rewatch my explanation of how to solve that one, and then try this one on your own without my explanation. Okay? Now you are ready. You have tried this practice problem number 2 on your own, and you are ready to solve. So again, here's our little format for how we fill in our distributive property. If you didn't do that yet, go ahead and pause and make sure you fill that in before you continue. And what we're going to do is first we're going to look at the first side of the array. And we'll see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So again, we have 5 times 5. And then we're going to look at the second part of the picture array and see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. So that gives me 3 times 5. And you know you can write that 5 times 3 if you would like to. The commutative property tells us it doesn't matter which way we put the factors, it'll still multiply out the same. So then you're going to transfer your 5 times 5 into our formula here, and your 3 times 5 into your formula, and solve. 5 times 5 is 25. Bring down your addition sign. 3 times 5 is 15, and add 25 and 15 together. This would be 20 plus 10 is 30, and 5 plus 5 is 10, so that gives us a total of 40 units. This area model has a total of 40 units. If you still have questions after rewatching this video a few times, then please let Ms. Hallmark know first thing in the morning so she can clear up any confusion. Thank you.